Namaste, Vanakkam, Namaskara. We celebrated Gopa Ashtami just 3 days ago. Yesterday on Devutni Ekadashi, the Devatas have woken up, and today it's Tulsi Viva. So it cannot be a better day to talk about cows. Okay. So, Ashwin, most of this audience probably knows that cow is sacred. We know what the cow's importance or Gau Mata's importance in the Sanatan Dharma is. I want to begin with your journey. You are an advocate by profession.
Yes.
So how did you come to open a Gau Sadan, as you call it?
So, Dakshin Vrindavan was never planned to start with. I'm sure people have heard this story, but I'm sorry to be repetitive, but it is a bit of a good story, I would say. So, it was way back in 2013. I was just a 22-year-old boy, just finished my law exams, the final year law exams, and it was a Makar Sankranti day. So my mom, she asked me to feed some bananas to the cows. It's a tradition to feed cows. So I had been to a place a little away from a house to feed cows bananas. And there was a huge, he was not a farmer, he's a planter. So you can understand the difference between a farmer and a planter. A huge establishment, a lot of cows and everything. So there was a small calf, a 3-month-old bull calf, hopping around, running with joy, jubilance. It was such a beautiful sight. And we were playing with that calf, and we were, feeding the cows bananas. And that's when a person came from a community, and the owner of that particular farm was negotiating the sale of that bull calf to that particular person. We could hear the conversation. So the moment the guy left the place, I asked the owner, "So you're selling this calf?" He said, "Yes." "And where do you think it's going?" I said, "Probably they'll take it to slaughter." So then I looked around. There was a large photograph of Lord Shiva with garlands and incenses lit, clearly indicating the culmination of his morning puja. So I asked him, "You are a devotee of Shiva?" He replied in affirmation. And I said, "And you are sending Nandi to slaughterhouse?" It doesn't make any sense to me. So back in those days, just finished my law exams. It was a cardinal sin for me to argue for things. So I did argue, and I said, "Listen, by this act, you have just reserved a first-class ticket to hell. How can you claim yourself to be a devotee of Shiva and send Nandi to slaughter?" So he said, "Listen, these are useless. They don't give me anything in return. So I have no other option apart from sending it to slaughter." So I said, "I just can't agree to this." That's what I told him. And my intention was to convince him to take care of that particular bull calf. I said, "That bull calf will simply live on the dried leaves that fall from the trees of that particular farm. It doesn't need anything more." So he said, "You speak so much of dharma. No? Why don't you take the bull calf and show me an example out of it?" Honestly, I wasn't prepared for that question. All right. So I remember looking at that calf, and I clearly remember asking myself a question: that am I ready to take care of that particular bull calf for the rest of its life, which means about 20 years of commitment minimum. That's the average lifespan, which means 1/3 of my life. I clearly knew what I should be saying, because that moment, that calf, which was until running around, it paused and it walked few steps towards me. I clearly knew what I should be saying. I said, "Yes, yes, I'll take the bull calf." And I went there with my classmate of mine, Mr. Shankar Ramavarma. So we took the bull calf and we sort of we'll manage. And I came home, and needless to say, a 22-year-old boy who just completed a law exams decided to take care of one bull cow. There was a World War III in my house. With all due respect to my mom who sits there, so there was World War III in my house. Yeah, but now we have 700 cows, so that's a history. So that's how we started it. But after that, it was non-stop. So people say, "Are you the founder of that bull?" Still lives with us. His name is Balram. Yes. So he's as white as Balram is in the scriptures. It's like milk white. So we named him Balram. So I tell people, I am not the founder of Dakshin Vrindavan. He is the founder of Dakshin Vrindavan. People think, oh, you're being so humble. Absolutely not. I'll tell you why. I'm just putting the onus of maintaining the cows on Krishna, not me. If I'm the founder, I should maintain. Like, now the point is that at this point of time, every day we have 700 cows. The per day consumption of green grass is almost about 8,000 kilos. 8 tons is what we require to feed the cows for one day. So you can imagine what is the quantity of feed that we require for a month and for a year. And approximate maintenance expenses would come to about 1.5 crores to 2 crores easily. Just the maintenance. I'm not talking about the veterinary expense or infrastructure. If I had a slightest idea that I'll incur about 2 crore rupees to maintain the herd 10 years down the lane, I would have never picked up Balram. I would have never done it. So here we find the careful hands of the Supreme Lord who want his devotees to encourage in seva, to do kainkaryam as we call it in Sanskrit, and to engage in seva. And now we find something called as deep internal satisfaction, which cannot be explained but only to be experienced with gau-seva.
Wonderful. Uh, we have in our Puranas the famous fight between Vasishtha and Vishwamitra about a cow. Okay? And that fight continues in some way in these times also. I'm a traveler, I travel around, and I've seen dog shelters, I've seen bear shelters, I've seen elephant shelters. But somehow the cow shelters are not as many. We have goshalas. We have lots of goshalas, mostly associated. In fact, another thing that was very tightly integrated with our temples was goshalas, right? So with the temples now becoming urban, even the goshalas are out of picture, and very few go sadhans or go shelters. So why is it so? And as an advocate, I also want you to touch upon the legal framework that protects cow, which is a state subject. So where is it protected, where the slaughter is not allowed, and where it is allowed, and why?
Of course, of course. Now to start with, we all know that unfortunately the Parashurama Kshetra, what we call up as Kerala, is a hub where beef is maximum consumed. But I happened to read through a document, a very interesting document. When the Portuguese came to trade in India, they were having a trade relationship with the Maharaja of Cochin. So the Maharaja of Cochin keeps an agreement on the trade agreement. I still have the document copy. He says, yes, you can trade here, you can do your practices here, religion here, but you will not slaughter cows in my land. So that is the agreement that Maharaja of Cochin keeps. Now, sadly, it is in that particular state that we have about 20,000 cows getting killed every single day. Every single day. It's a staggering figure. Now, why we don't have dog shelters? Why don't we have so much of gau sadhans these days? For one, I'll tell you various reasons attached to it. To start with, you have to go to bit towards the scriptural aspect of cows. Now we are in Kali Yuga. We are all aware of that. We are in Kali Yuga. So the scripture speaks about the advent of Kali Yuga. Maharaja Parikshit, the grandson of Arjun, he comes and he sees that somebody had chopped off the legs of a particular bull. And there, scripture says, the Kali Yuga has started. So the attack and assault on cows is the first step of Kali Yuga, because the nature of Kali Yuga is that anything auspicious should diminish. That is the Yuga Dharma, unfortunately. And anything inauspicious will actually prosper. That's how it is. Now, cow is the very symbol of prosperity. Why? We'll go into it later. But she is a very symbol of prosperity, and she is a symbol of dharma. Now we know that, and things are slowly changing these days, but you know how hypocrite some of the so-called animal welfare organizations are. They go on berserk during Diwali because the cracker scares the dogs. But they go absolutely on a hibernation mode during Bakrid. Why is it so? That is a paradox which We have never understood. Shafaliaka have been speaking about it in and out, and it has actually given them sleepless days, by the way. Anyways, so the point is that keeping a dog is considered as a fashion symbol. Well, dogs are to be respected. Dogs are very lovely, by the way. In our scriptures, every animal is sacred. Every animal is sacred. We don't consider any particular animal as inauspicious or non-sacred, never. And our scripture says, Panditaha Samadarshanaha. We see everybody equally. But obviously, for various reasons, cows are not mere animals. They're not mere animals. The reasons we'll get to it later. But keeping a dog, petting a dog is considered as a fashion thing. And that is not the same case with cows, because cow was associated with dharma. And there is a vested agenda to destroy dharma. I have to give a small story here. The great Shaktan Tamparan was a great king of Cochin. On his birthday, he came quite late to the lunch, and his dhoti was all soiled with blood. So his mom asked, "What is it? What happened?" And he says, "I had to kill a person." I said, "You killed a person on your birthday?" He said, "Yes, I had to." Why so? He was about to slaughter a cow. I couldn't tolerate, so I killed him. So whatever it is, you should have avoided killing a particular person on your birthday. He said that, how will I face my ancestors if I don't react to a cow being killed? I'm ready to take up the sin, but I'm not ready to take up the sin of not able to face my ancestors because I failed to protect a cow. And here we are talking about protecting one cow. Now we can see how this state has failed terribly to protect the cows, because there is a vested agenda which has been injected to us from years, basically because of the influences of Britishers and others, that keeping cows is considered as, attached to a religion, and dogs, no, it's considered as a status symbol. And coming to the legal framework of it, cow slaughter is pretty much possible in Tamil Nadu. People have a notion that cow slaughter is not allowed in Tamil Nadu. It's pretty much legal in Tamil Nadu. Cows of certain age could definitely be slaughtered in Tamil Nadu as well. There is absolutely no ban on slaughtering of cows in Kerala, West Bengal, and in various other some states. Cows are protected and they are forbidden to be slaughtered only in almost about, say, 60% of India's states. In the rest of the areas, cow slaughter is pretty common. It is allowed legally because cow protection happened to be a state subject. So, which is why that is how it is.
So let me ask you some questions which a lot of the people, especially youngsters in the audience, will face when they go out. Why is cow important?
We can approach this via two ways. Scriptures say scriptural aspect as well as practical layman aspect without any scriptural basis. Let's first approach the scriptural basis, because scriptures never go wrong. There are two important qualities of cow which makes her very important actually. One is upakari and second one is nirupadravakari. Upakari means every aspect of her existence is for the welfare of humans. Imagine she just consumes grass. You and me can't eat cellulose, grass. She eats grass. And in return, she gives milk. And from milk derives butter, buttermilk, curd, whatnot. And your cottage cheese, ghee, most importantly. These are all just bonuses. Now comes the practical aspect of it. The best thing that the cow gives is actually the cow dung. And our Shastras knew this very well, because scripture says, Gomaye vasati lakshmihi, not kshire vasati lakshmihi. Gomaya means cow dung. In cow dung lives Lakshmi and not in milk. Now, let me ask you something. If our scripture have to equate excretia of a particular animal to be the resident place of the goddess of prosperity, imagine what would be the status of that particular animal. We are talking about excretia of a particular animal. Now, let's take it hypothetically. It's quite bizarre, but let us take it hypothetically. You cannot go near the excretia of any other animal in this whole world apart from cow dung.
Not even your own.
You pile up a whole hill of cow dung, you can go to it. You can go near it. I'm talking about, when I say cows, I mean deshi cows, by the way. Because there's a wonderful minister in Kerala. He went to Switzerland. Then he saw that the milks there, the cows there give about 40, 50 liters of milk. And he said, no, 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 we should bring these cows to Kerala. In Switzerland, where the temperature is about 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, he brought the cows from there to a particular place where the temperature is 45 degrees Celsius. So that is the kind of politicians that we have and the wonderful policies. And it was a failure anyways. So the point is that when I say cow dung, it means deshi cow dung. You pile up a whole 5 tons of cow dung, you can go near it. You can sit near it, nothing will happen. But can you imagine that with any other animal in this world? Any other animal? It is not possible at all. And that is why she is so special. Because from the cow dung, you can do agriculture, organic agriculture. And with that, you get excellent food grains, fruits, vegetables, and by which you can actually get prosperity in 2 ways. One is through financial by selling it, and second thing is health prosperity. What has happened when we removed cow dung from the agricultural sector? We started feeding poison to the soil. Short-term money will definitely become. Ultimately, you have to give up all that money to the hospital because you will end up having cancers and other diseases. So prosperity here doesn't just mean bank balance. Prosperity here means your physical health also. That is the ultimate prosperity, by the way. So the moment we removed cow from the agricultural sector, we started feeding poison to the soil and thereby ending up having numerous diseases. So which is why cow is a symbol of prosperity, not because she gives milk, but because till the day she dies, she will give you cow dung. Which is why we never considered cow to be a milk producing machine. Cow was never considered a milk producing machine. I'll tell you why. The nature's arrangement is just wonderful. To speak about cows, the smallest of cows, not the new generation, but the smallest of cows is actually Vechur. Vechur cows in Kerala. Small cows. They're only this much. You can keep it in your apartment. And the largest of the cows are found in desert regions of Gujarat and Rajasthan. Not just the physique, but also in terms of milk. In a place where you get rains for almost about 8 months a year, the cows gives the least liters of milk. 1 liter, 2 liters maximum that particular cow gives. And in a place where you have the scarcest of rains, that cow liters 20 liters of milk. Just imagine how wonderful the nature has arranged the hydration system for humans there. Because humans have no other method of hydrating there. You get a lot of coconut water. There are plenty of things to hydrate yourselves down south. But that's not the case in Rajasthan. So you have to consume a lot of buttermilk and things to hydrate yourself. So this is how nature has evolved. The whole thing of milk is only a bonus aspect. The real thing that cows gives is actually cow dung. And which is why we say that when you start observing cow, when you start respecting cow beyond the milk aspect of it, you will protect her till she dies because she will give cow dung till she dies. And with that cow dung, you can do agriculture. Till the day she dies, she'll give cow dung. No matter how old she is. She'll give cow dung. And with that, you can do agriculture and there comes prosperity. Now
and
we have
Gomutra.
Gomutra, most importantly, the Panchagavyas. The Gomutra. The urine and excretia of a particular animal is considered sacred and to be the resident place of Mahalakshmi, and we mop our place with cow dung to offer worship to the Devi Devatas. So, what can you speak about the status of that animal? She is not an animal, she is the personification of Devatas.
Wonderful. So imagine I am a urban dweller. You know, I live in this IT town of either a Gurgaon or a Pune or a Bangalore or Hyderabad. I have no connect with cow. You know, how can I establish a connect when I'm living in an urban setting, getting my milk in a packet, and probably seen cows at one-off excursion from the school? How can we re-establish that connect with the cows?
Most of the people here would have definitely seen the younger days where you had cows in your home. All right. When I grew up in a traditional agrahara, and we did have a lot of cows, but by the time I was there was no cows. But my mom used to always take me to a house opposite to a house where they had cows, and I refused to eat without seeing that particular cow. And the mom used to tell me, your curd rice comes from this particular cow. So immediately there is a bond established. Okay, she's feeding me. But now we have no connection because we get milk in a packet. We don't know from what that milk is, what thing that particular milk is, what not. But the point is that it's not too late for us to establish our connection with the cows, because I feel that we are right now the most empowered to make connection with the cows, much more than before. Thanks to technology. I will tell you how. We can have gau sadans where if each one of us take responsibility of maintaining one cow, and that cow is yours. Now we have technology, you can see that cow through pictures, videos, video calls. If our relatives are far abroad and we can't see them on a daily basis, we see them on video calls. Can't we have that establishment towards cows? Can't we use technology for dharma? To have a bond with a particular cow in a gausadan? To cite an example, Shafali Akka, she has adopted a cow by name Subhadra. I have to, I have to, I have to tell her story because no speech of mine goes without telling the story of Subhadra. Anywhere for that matter, because she is that special to us. Subhadra was taken to slaughter from Tamil Nadu to Kerala. When she came to us, she could not open her eyes. Her eyes was always closed. And there was, tears coming from her eyes. Cows doesn't have tear glands, by the way. So, but there were water coming out from her ears. And we have veterinarian. She was extremely, you know, she was she was not comfortable in any workers going near her. And she was not comfortable in anybody going and feeding her. And she was very ferocious, would put it in that way. And the veterinarian came and he slowly examined and he tried to open the eyes of the cows after putting anesthesia, of course. And he found there were green chilies inserted to the eyes of Subhadra. And there were tobacco inserted in the other eyes and in the private parts of Subhadra. I have to speak about this cruelty because most of us aren't aware of this. I know it is uncomfortable to hear. My apologies, but this is a reality. Let's face a reality. More than comforting words, reality is what is to be faced. Then that is when I learned that they jam-pack the truck with cows. If a cow sits, it will occupy more truck space, which means that in a place where they could load 2 cows, they could load only 1 cow. So that they wanted the cow to be standing always so that they can pack that particular truck with cows and load as much cows as possible in truck and transport it. So to make her irritated and non-sleepy, they'll insert chilies. Every eyes of the cows we have rescued, we have found green chilies. And due to some content in the tobacco or green chili, Subhadra is blind. So we try treating her. The eyesight has improved a bit, but still it's not much. It has permanently damaged her retina. So the point is that we hear such unspeakable cruelty to the very embodiment of devatas. I am not talking about just any animal. Every animal, no animal deserves to be treated such way. That is a different thing. Nobody should have even a small ant. That is how we were brought in. But then, the very embodiment of dharma is being assaulted here. That is what I'm trying to say. It is not a mere attack on cow. It is an attack on dharma. People are trying to blind not an animal, but people are trying to blind and assault dharma, the very existence of our civilization. So if each one of us, like Shafali Akka, decide to adopt and take care of one bulka, now Subhadra is like a daughter to Shafali Akka. There's a fantastic bond between them. So likewise, if all of us decided to have one cow in some gosadans near you, that would be the way for urban dwellers to own a cow. She's my cow. We put up the pictures on the fridge and on the TV, the wall. And if we all pledge to take one cow, and I'll tell you, no cows will get slaughtered in India if we take that vow.
You know, I would like to see a future where the city planners or the builder community comes out with a planning where a goshala is a part of the complex, so that not just we have the bond, we get the local food, we get the local milk, and 90% of our problems are because something is being produced somewhere and being transported to us through multiple layers, and each layer adds a layer of corruption as well as pollution in some form and shape. So if there are any builders in the audience, please think about it. Maybe it will be a higher end, upper, luxurious kind of a thing to start with, but whatever starts at the top percolates down very, very easily. Can we have, uh, you know, housing societies where Gaushala is a part of the design, is there? Maybe can support a vegetable garden as well on the side. So, do you think that is possible?
It is very much possible. But the elementary step towards that is to see cows beyond milk. That's the first step. That's a wonderful suggestion. If we can have in apartment complexes 3 or 4 cows in a medium-sized apartment, that's fine. The people of all the apartments can have a bond. She will just survive on the kitchen waste, mind you. She doesn't need more than that. She would just survive on the kitchen waste of these apartments, the wash water of the rice, all right, and then the vegetable peels and the fruit peels. She will survive on that happily.
It actually solves another problem. Most of the people who visit astrologers come back looking for a cow to feed.
Oh yes. Now, when you have a cow below your apartment, what more can be beneficial thing? The point is that there's a conversation that happened with one person. He said, "What is a dairy farmer?" I said, "See, listen, she doesn't produce anymore. What is the point for me to maintaining it?" I said, "With all due respect, that's the same case with your mom also." I had to be blunt here because our scriptures speaks about 7 mothers, not one mother. Our scriptures speak about 7 mothers. One is earth. And second thing is our biological mother. And third thing is Rajapatni, the wife of a king. And the fourth one is the wife of a Vedic scholar. And the fifth one is cow. And the sixth one is Dhatri. Dhatri is nurse. So the scripture speaks about seven mothers, and only one of them is a non-human. I mean, 2 of them, the earth. She's considered as a Devi.
Rivers
basically.
also.
Yeah, yes.
Rivers also.
So when we start seeing her beyond milk, then you will definitely protect her till her last minute.
So somewhere our bond is broken.
It is.
It's true for temples. It's true for basic tenets of dharma. It's true for cows, which is the basic element of our dharma. So somewhere we need to bring them together as an integral part of our life. Like when Sandeep ji was wearing that T-shirt, "Did you go to the temple today?" The point is, our relationship is so broken that we'll go a day before our examination, a day before I'm expecting my promotion, or the day the test report of a doctor has to come, but we don't go on an everyday basis. To put it in a very WhatsApp language, they say don't use it like a stepney, use it like a steering wheel. Use dharma like a steering wheel so that you'll have a smooth ride in life, instead of using it like to take it out when the steering wheel fails. So that's what it is. With that, do we have 5 minutes for questions? Okay, any questions? Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll come to you in a minute.
Of course I can.
Hello. Check.
Okay, we'll come to
because
him.
last time itself you never allowed me to ask a question.
It's okay, we'll come to him, sir.
Yeah. See, now that you are talking about, say, nativity cows, Natumad and all that. See, do you think the Operation Flood floated by Dr. Kurian was right for India? See, because of which, say, so much of contaminated milk, adulterated milk started coming up with mixing with, dairy farms. Is it right, or say, was it wrong?
There were few policies of Dr. Kurian which I personally don't agree with. One of the most important thing was to introduce crossbreeds to this country. When I say to introduce crossbreeds to country, I would fight that particular policy the same way if you bring a Gir cow from Gujarat to Tamil Nadu. Because that particular Gir cow is non-native of Tamil Nadu. When I say native cow breeds, 40-kilometer radius, that's about it. That is your native cow. I have seen, because in Dakshin Vrindavan, very interesting thing. Because there is a craze for this Deshi cows right now, and people go to Gujarat and bring Gir cows and Tharparkar cows and Shahiwal cows, the breed cows which gives maximum milk, and they bring down to humid places like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and now the moment they don't give them the returns, because after 2 to 3 pregnancies, the cow's production will start dropping down. And the Gir cows is where we find maximum case of uterine prolapse. The entire uterus comes out because she can't handle the humidity here. Now, I would fight that particular bringing of non-Indian cows to India the same way if you bring the Gir cows to Tamil Nadu or Kerala, because 90% of cows, the cows in Dakshin Vrindavan shelter are actually Gir cows or Tharpakar cows or Kankresh cows, because they are the one who have been brought up here because of the craze for native Indian cows. Having native Indian cows is the best thing ever, but that has to be your native Indian cows, not India's native Indian cows. Okay. And second thing is that Koreans, one aspect is really good. That is, he was able to get rid of the middleman in terms of milk, supply. The farmers were selling the milk to a middleman, and the middleman was making the profit. In that aspect, Amul was good, and that was nice. But again, in that aspect, the greed for more milk, by which he introduced the foreign cows, that policy I don't agree. So I can't put a blanket disagreement to Korean's policy. But the introduction of the exotic cows to India was a blunder, for which we still face the wrath.
My take on this, sir, is that when Amul came into picture, India needed quantity. We needed a lot of quantity of milk and lot of other things, grains, everything. Now is the time to focus on quality, and for which we'll have to go back to small is beautiful. Okay? Yes.
Hariom sir, thank you for the amazing work that you're doing first of all. My question is twofold. So the first one is, it's a lot easier to get hybrid cows in all aspects, economical, whatever. And what is the argument for, let's say, taking on desi cows when it's difficult, especially for small farmers or people who don't have as many resources to deal with it for throughout the entirety of the life? And the second one is, I have a lot of friends who are, part-time animal activists, like vegans. What is the solution to that? Because they also have a point, which is that a lot of cows are treated very badly to take milk and like other products. So is the solution to go vegan, or is there some other solution? Like, what is your opinion on that? Thank you.
It's a very sensitive topic. I need 2 to 3 minutes to explain it. To start with, exotic cows do give large quantities of milk. I don't deny that. But then, if you see, the maximum lactation is about 3. Fourth lactation, she's done with. She's exhausted. She can't bear in more childbirth. But at the same point of time, when you have a deshi cow, we have cows who have given birth to 30 calves in her lifetime. Forget about 3. So we are talking about long-term aspect. Short-term, exotic cows do have an upper hand. I have no denial about it. But then in long term, she gives. And second of all, the nutrient content in an exotic cow is really poor. And if you see, I don't know how you have observed this, when the exotic cow dung drops a cow dung, it's more liquid. If deshi cow dung drops, it's like a ball. It's like the excretion of a goat. It's like quite thick. It'll just get dropped, it gets spread there. And it has more nutritional contents than exotic breed cow. That is one aspect. So long-term aspect, indigenous cows do have an upper hand. And again, I speak about the prosperity, not in terms of financial, but also health as well. So in that aspect, yes. But when it comes to the veganism, it's a very sensitive topic. But I'll tell you what, here I always feel that moderation is the key. I don't think, to say for example, I don't think paneer was this much consumed in Tamil Nadu at least about 20 years back.
Paneer was not consumed anywhere in India like this ever.
Ever.
I grew up in Punjab. We never had paneer every day. That is what most of the rest of the country seems to think.
Exactly. I've heard stories from my parents that they have never heard of paneer in the menu at all in any restaurants. So I think here moderation is the key. And I have to say that Hindu Dharma doesn't advocate veganism. But it does advocate the way in which you take the products of any cows. For example, the cows have 4 udders. We have scriptural basis of taking care of cows, by the way. You know what the scripture says? 2 to 3 udders is for the calf. 1 udder you consume. That's what the scripture says. But right now what is happening is, the calf is, forget about that. I'll tell you what is happening these days. The calf is getting sold to slaughter. And I'm sure you have seen this thing. And the slaughterhouse, they give back the hide of that particular calf back to the farmer. The farmer will stuff that particular hide with hay, and that whole animal will be kept near the cow so that the cow will start lactating, thinking that it is his calf. Right. So, so this is what is happening here. Now the point here is that the moment we start deviating from scriptures, our downfall will start. We started deviating from the scriptures of instructions of taking milk from the cows. We started taking extract her maximum as possible. And obviously that veganism, what the point was, veganists are correct. Because you are denying the calf of the milk. That is correct. And most importantly, consumption of animal products, especially milk, was not this much. I'm not just about milk basically, but the milk products. Well, tea, maximum about 150 years. You don't find common man drinking tea or coffee about 150 years. I'm not saying you should go against it, but the point is that we were not dependent upon the cow products like this, long time back. We do need milk for puja. Havans cannot be performed without ghee. No denial about it. So, by dharma, we don't advocate veganism at all. But again, that comes to a huge but. It also depends upon how you take the product of that particular animal. We are definitely against the commercial dairy farms who sell the calves to slaughter, who sell the cows, the old cows to the slaughterhouses, and who sell the bulls to the butcher houses. If you want to consume milk or milk products, the ideal thing, it is a far ideal thing, but it is not impossible. We can have, as we spoke about the Hindu fund here, we can have ideal goshalas in places where infrastructure is possible, where you have a section where milk is extracted just the way the scripture says. And associated to it should be a shelter where the old cows get retired peacefully, the bull calves get retired peacefully, and the sick cows get retired peacefully. So that the cow is not abused. Here, the point is, when vegans say the cows are abused, they are abused, no denial about it. But you should not use cow dung, you should not use milk for puja or something. I'm so sorry, we are not going to agree to it. We should extract the products of the cow without abusing that animal. And again, veganism, that has to be approached in a huge, wide aspect. I had a funny question to ask. It went on to become a very serious conversation. Mridangas for bhajans, for Carnatic, I'm not just Carnatic, for all tabalas and everything. The hide of that particular, the skin of that mridanga actually comes from cow hide. But then, that cow hide, in those times, it actually came from this cow which had a natural death. Now it is slaughterhouse byproduct. Will Krishna or Rama will be happy if you beat around a particular skin of an animal which has been slaughtered mercilessly? I have videos to show you, but that will freak all of you out. But I'll describe that videos to you. We have taken videos some places where the cow is standing, and to improve the blood circulation, I won't say improve, to push that blood rush in that particular animal where the meat will look really red, they hammer the cow's forehead many times before they slaughter it. I have the videos. I'm not speaking without any proof. It's too graphic to be shown here. And then they slaughter. So, which is why we in Dakshin Vrindavan, we have kept a policy. We have decided absolutely not to breed any cows. We don't breed cows, we don't milk cows. The reason is very simple. Breedable cows in Dakshin Vrindavan is almost about 250. Suppose I allow them to breed. And the next year I'm going to have 250 calves. And those 250 calves are not rescued. Given the huge limitation on resources, the funds for maintaining them and the land, I would prefer to rescue 250 cows from slaughterhouses than increasing the most of it inside the Goshala. It is not an ideal situation, I'm aware of it. But sometimes you have to take up difficult choices. I feel bad in denying cows their rightful, right to be a mother. But what can I do when I have many cows waiting in the slaughterhouses? They need to be rescued. So we have just sorted out our priorities. In one way it has helped because Our workers never, like in Goshala, oh, that cow gives 10 liters of milk, so feed her little. Oh, that cow gives 20 liters of milk, give her more food. I've seen common workers differentiating cows in Goshalas based on the productivity. And Dakshinamurthy, that will happen because all cows, none of them give milk. So all of them are treated equally with equal care and attention. So the point is that Gausadans are the key. I have the minister of Kerala, there was some HRNC of Kerala, scholars, there was some. I'm sure how you have heard about a particular temple called as Ambalappuzha Sri Krishna temple. That temple is very famous for the kheer they make, the payasam that they make, Ambalappuzha Pal payasam. It's extremely delicious. And somebody, out of his devotion to Krishna in that temple, donated 40 cows. Please use that particular milk to, take the milk to make the kheer payasam. The temple was buying milk from outside, the packet milk. So, the temple had huge wealth, by the way, in record, quoted. It's a government temple. So, you know what they did? 1 month after he donated, I have the letter in my email where he says, no, please take the cows and take it to your shelter. I said, what is wrong with them? They are young cows, they're capable of giving birth and take milk. No, it's very difficult to maintain them. It's a headache to maintain them. That's what he told me. The commissioner, the headache to maintain them. If we don't take care of it, it'll die here, then the people create an issue. Now, if we auction it, then also people create an issue. So you better take it to Dakshin Vrindavan so that we are saved. This is what he told me. I have an email with me. And I have one of them visiting my residence and requesting, please take those particular cows. We did, because we love the cows. But the point is that our wealth, which is being managed by the government, is to be used to maintain these cows. But that is not what is happening. And the temples which had land, Padmanabha Swami temple, the temple had huge lands. Huge lands. You won't believe me. We shelter about 25 retired cows of the temple which has the maximum wealth in the whole world. We humble Dakshin Vrindavan. We've been blessed to take care of those cows. That is a different thing. We are blessed. The temple has only 15 cows, but we take care of 25 cows of Padmanabha Swami. Because there is no Gausadans there, what to do? So the whole thing would be to establish as much Gausadans as possible, Hindu-centric Gausadans, where the cows are treated not as a commodity, but as a very embodiment of Devata, because she deserved to be protected. Our kings, last 1 or 2 words, our kings, I always say this, I am Ashwin here, and this is Anuradha ji, this is Shafali ji. We are all here with this name because our ancestors did 2 things. 1, they fought against the Mughals, tooth and nail with their weapons, or they paid tax called as Jizya for 900 long years. Otherwise, I would be Abdul Rahman. If my ancestors have sacrificed for 900 long years by fighting, by paying money, somehow we have to preserve this religion. No, I can't protect a single cow. Then how can you face your ancestors? 1 cow. 1 cow. I'll tell you the exact cost. It takes 125 rupees to maintain 1 cow for 1 day. If we can't do it for our lifetime, and our ancestors are done for 900 long years, can't we do this? If you don't do this, let's stop calling ourselves Hindu with all due respect.
I'm seriously surprised that Padmanabha Swami has only 15 cows.
The government has taken over all the lands. The temple had 17,000 acres of land. Everything taken away.
Another reason to reclaim temples. Any questions? I'll take it from that girl. Yeah. Ji. Do you want to elaborate the process, how people can adopt cows
Yes.
at your
The whole purpose of Dakshin Vrindavan is not just to shelter cows. The whole purpose of Dakshin Vrindavan is that 700 cows have 700 families connected to it.
I think this is where we need to use technology.
We have absolutely no patent on this concept, so all Hindu organizations can take up this particular topic. No, I'm just telling you on a lighter note.
Right. Okay, we'll have to,
Yeah.
sir, we'll
That
take it
girl-
offline.
Yeah.
Yeah, one girl, please.
Sir, he has already said that, articulated it very well. Thank you, point taken.
Just
Just one question
one
from the
bacha.
the
Hello.
girl from
Please say that your
Chinmaya. And then
Yeah, then we'll say.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
had.
Ashwin will be available. You can always ask
yes.
him. Yes.
So during the discussion, there was a recommendation saying that we could keep the cows in the cities as well. And I come from a city, so I just wanted to ask that, considering the fact that cows would need like a very peaceful environment, and that there's a lot of pollution in the cities, noise and air pollution, etc., how would that be practically possible? And if it's not, then how would we get pure, like, good milk from the cows? Because we get packeted milk. So
It is.
It's a
I'll tell you-
catch-22 that you've given us. So we'll have to start somewhere.
Yes. Now, it's a very, very long topic, but it requires a lot of policies to be made. When we can make policies of setting aside certain area as garden, certain areas park in terms of financial planning of, the planning of a particular place or something, I feel it should come from the policy part where some acres of a particular land, where it may be urbanized, like a township, some acres have to be set aside for Goshala. That's the only way
We
it
can
works.
have multi-story parking slots. We can definitely have one floor for cows.
And she has a point when it comes to the place where cows have to move around and everything. She has absolutely a good point there. But it comes from a planning from the government. The government have to plan it. We can't do anything about it. The government, okay, now in this particular block, there are about 20 houses. You have to have about 10 acres of land where the cows could roam around. It should come for policy. And those places where you have trees and cows, that will be the lungs of that particular area. So it is a wonderful concept, but the policy have to come from the government.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Ashwin, and thank you everybody for being such a great audience. Thank you.
It always fills me with great pride when I listen to him talk. He's very articulate. Maybe it's his training as a lawyer and the passion for what he does. I request only one thing. His Goshala is 45 minutes away from here. If all of you go and visit the Goshala and see for yourselves the kind of amazing work that Ashwin and his friends have done at Dakshin Vrindavan, you would also feel like connecting. One great thing, and I have seen many cow shelters all over India, but one great thing that I see at Dakshin Vrindavan is that there are no nose ropes. It is one of the very, very, very few Gosadans which have cows. They range free for some time of the day at least, and they don't have nose ropes. That's really amazing. So please visit Dakshin Vrindavan and do contribute, do adopt a cow if possible, because what he's saying is not valid if we do not support it. Subhadra and adopting Subhadra has been a great experience for me. It has brought a lot of goodness in my life, the greatest of whom is standing here. And so his parents are also here. I request them to come on stage. You know, it's not easy as a parent when your 22-year-old son brings home a calf on a scooter and says, okay, this is what I want to do. And they have been supporting him. Please give them a big hand. Before we go to honoring him, I just have two small announcements to make. Now we'll break for lunch. but we'll meet at 2:15 sharp. We have some more interesting sessions after this. And please do not leave after the last talk, because the last session today, it's about the Veranda Awards. This is the first time that we have instituted awards, and there are some very interesting people and interesting causes which are getting to be awarded. So please stay back for the award ceremony as well.
Yes, thank you so much. I
Mentor of mine says, gau-seva connects people. He says that. And I have seen it happening. Gau-seva do connect people. Cows do connect people.